Hey, it's studio time. The Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Send your band submissions to Nate at radio949colorado.com.
And welcome back to Studio 94.9. It's the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Nate Wild once again with you, and I got our guest in this week, Justin Roth. Welcome, man.
Thank you very much, Nate. Great to be here.
Thanks for coming. Now, if you would, let's start off, if you could just introduce me and the listeners to Justin Roth. A bio, if you will.
A bio, if I will. I have been a nationally tuned singer-songwriter for the last over 15 years. I'm living in Colorado for about 8 of those years.
Okay.
And moved out here from Minnesota. And since moving here, I've also, aside from getting myself off the road slightly, I've started a small family at home and started to spread out my musical roots and loving what Fort Collins had to offer in terms of musical community. I spent so much time on the road before that being here, I wanted to be part of what was happening here as well. So I've started to do, in addition to performing, got a recording studio and been recording a lot of other artists and a lot of people who are kind of coming up now and making their first records or and kind of getting their careers started. And I've been doing a lot of that as well. So
Very
it's
cool.
kind of been fun to get involved in other ways.
Yeah. It's the music bug, you know. It bites you and you're stuck.
You're stuck, yeah. Hey, I've never looked back or looked another direction in terms of what I want to do with my life. So I feel like I'm in the right place.
I'm with you. Cool. Right on. What do you say we play a tune?
Okay.
This one's called Trembling Like a Train. Can you tell me about this tune? What's it about?
Yeah, well, this is a song from my album entitled Now You Know, and to me this was a kind of a almost like a dream, like what it would be like about to jump on one of those trains that you don't really have a ticket for per se, or to where you don't really know where it's going, but you're in for the ride. You know,
I like
metaphor for whatever that may be.
It's very deep. Yeah, I dig that. Cool.
All
All right. Well, once again, Justin Roth joining me in the studio today. It's Studio 94.9. This is Trembling Like a Train. Take it away.
Midnight falls in Rotterdam at the Golden Tulip Inn. I'm standing in the rain, wondering which of these wet tracks to take. And now it's time to choose, and I'm trembling like a train, 'cause I gave away my ticket overnight to Saint-Tropez. You may think I'm crazy, that's okay. I swear this place is damned, I'm still standing here, and I'm feeling a bit insane. Listening to the rooster crow, I'm frozen to the core, and I'm trembling like a train. But the sun is always shining on the beach in Saint-Tropez, and everyone is smiling, but who needs it anyway? I'm burning like hay fews. Time to get away. down on that whistle. Let me hear it screaming through the trees. I'm burning like hay fever. Time to get away. There's so much left to lose, and I'm trembling like a train, and I'm trembling like a train, and I'm trembling like a train. Ah.
Yes. Justin Roth, everybody. Nice. Trembling Like a Train was the title of that tune. Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Now, this is for my music heads out there. I need to address some things. Justin has 2 capos on his guitar. Tell me about this little one. So you've got the big capo that covers all 6 strings, and you got a little baby one.
Baby one. That's great. I've never heard it called that before. Yeah, so I've been using what are called partial capos for almost 20 years now. Actually, before the companies started to catch on and started to manufacture them that way, they were ones where we would take them and actually cut them up myself, and which I had learned from some other folks who were doing the same. Basically, the idea is there's lots of different capos out there now, but the main 2 that I use are these Kaiser capos that, like you said, the standard one that covers all 6 strings. There's another one over there that I didn't use yet, but that only covers 5 strings. It basically leaves the low bass note open, so it covers the top 5 strings, leaving the low bass. They call that the drop D capo, so you can kind of mimic like you're in drop D tuning without actually retuning. And then the other one I used on this song is called the shortcut capo, which only covers 3 strings, covers the A, D, and G string. So it leaves the low bass open and the top 2 high strings open, so you get this drone over the top of things. Keep that low bass note, but it capos up the middle string. So you're basically able to get these different voicings out of the guitar. And granted, that song I was in a different tuning, in Dadgad tuning, but they work great for standard tuning to make your standard tuning guitar chords sound richer and like there's more suspensions and more sound. It sounds more like you're in alter tuning without actually having to learn the different alter tuning.
Yeah.
So as a solo singer-songwriter, I don't play with a band, so I'm usually trying to get the most out of the instrument as possible, and these things help me to expand sonically what I'm able to do with one instrument, and to maybe do things that another guitar player or something would play alongside if I had a side person. But this way I can kind of get the acoustic guitar to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. This is the first time I've seen one of those.
Yeah.
It's cool. All right. Let's play another tune. Why don't we?
Okay.
One True Love. Can you tell me about this one?
Yeah, well, I mentioned I've started a small family here. I've got a 3-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old son. And I wrote this song for my daughter when she was almost a year old. She was learning to walk. And everyone told me, you have kids and it becomes fodder for a lot of inspiration and new songs and stuff. And I wrote many versions of different types of songs based on the things that she was experiencing as she was growing up, going everywhere from diaper changes to this song. So I won't share any diaper change songs with you today, but
thank you, I guess.
Yeah.
Although now I'm intrigued.
Oh, if you can use your imagination and it pretty much covers just what you'd think.
That's awesome.
But so I wrote this song for her, which was basically people told us before having kids or when we were having kids that they said that you'd experience love in a whole new way, and nothing they could have told me could have prepared me exactly what they meant until I was experiencing it, and tried to capture that in this song.
Oh, man, I love that. That's awesome.
All right,
cool. Justin Roth joining me once again, Studio 94.9. This is called One True Love. Take it away.
Tiny hands, little feet, button nose and rosy cheeks. She's got me wrapped around her finger. Love the way she toddles round the kitchen floor, just like a drunkard that's never been this drunk before. But she's curious, she keeps me on my toes, she's precocious, I can't believe what she already knows. My baby, she's standing on her own, can't believe how fast she's growing, it's crazy. My little lady, when she falls down, she gets back up, she's my one true love. Blonde hair and blue eyes, cute round belly and toothless smile, always drooling back at me. She tries to eat everything she finds on the floor, she's slamming fingers in cabinets and drawers, but she's clever, she can always find a way, she's calm, even playing in a room alone, she's bold, every chance that she can take, she's beautiful. I can't believe what we have made. My baby, she's standing on her own, can't believe how fast she's grown, it's crazy. My little lady, when she falls down, she gets back up, she's my one true love. My baby takes me by surprise, how so much joy can make me cry lately. Sweet little lady, when I feel down, she picks me up, she's my one true love, my one true love.
Yes. Justin Roth, One True Love. That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
All right, once again, Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Now, you have a very unique style. For neither of those tunes you used to pick. And you got this finger thing going. Mm-hmm. Tell me some of your influences as far as a player.
So it's more or less called fingerstyle guitar.
Right.
Sometimes it's strumming with the fingers, but more often than not, it's like more finger-picked kind of stuff. So I can pick out bass lines, counter melodies, things like that. And I was really drawn to it, or very early on when I've been playing guitar for 25 plus years, mm-hmm. and started out like most other people. I wanted to learn Metallica songs.
Yeah, totally.
Learning all the riffs from my favorite heavy rock songs. And eventually, I was 17, and I went to see Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Okay.
I was getting more and more into like the songwriter and acoustic thing. And somebody was there to open for them, which didn't even know there was going to be an opener, and his name was Michael Hedges.
Okay, yeah.
And Michael Hedges went on, and to me still is the kind of reigning king of fingerstyle guitar. And it's really like fingerstyle guitar is blown up. If you go on YouTube and look up fingerstyle guitar, it's all over the place. Mm-hmm. There's people doing all sorts of innovative stuff with the guitar. The acoustic guitar in particular, because it's not relying on effects pedals and all that stuff. It's, whether it's capos or fingerstyle technique or tapping techniques, mm-hmm. playing up on the neck with two hands, percussive things hitting the guitar. It's like the guitar is not just a 6-string chordal instrument. It's like a drum, and it's so many other things. And Michael Hedges really kind of broke open the doors for treating the acoustic guitar in a way that a lot of people just had not ever heard it used before. A lot of altered tunings, a lot of percussive techniques, harmonics, things that just made the guitar not sound the way that we are accustomed to hear the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
You know, strumming G, C, and D chords and
Campfire, Kumbaya kind of.
Yeah. And it's like, and fingerstyle guitar has been around for a long time, but
Yeah.
he really kind of broke it more. I can't say mainstream because solo acoustic guitar players don't get, you know, that much exposure to become mainstream.
Yeah.
But in the acoustic guitar world, he really opened a lot of people's eyes to and ears to what this instrument was really capable of. So he was the first person that I saw doing that, and within, I think it was like within 6 months, I had gotten every one of his records, and another 6 months after that, I sold my electric guitar and just went all acoustic, and then I started finding other singer-songwriters who were very guitar-focused. I mean, they were usually solo performers. Whether their album had other production or not wasn't. It was more about what they did live and how they utilized their guitar to go beyond being a supportive chordal instrument and making more intricate parts, not for the sake of being flashy or overly technical, but for the sake of getting the most out of the instrument and really supporting the song without saying, oh, that would be nice if this little other counter melody happens. And so you hire an electric guitar player who can play that, and it's like, well, what if we can do that all at the same time? And I was really drawn to those kind of writers that were doing innovative stuff with their guitars. And a lot of times it involved alter tunings and things like that, because the alter tunings open up a lot of possibilities too, both harmonically and melodically, what you can reach, really, and what you can play, you know, just with two hands. And so that's what brought me to it. And again, that's another thing I never looked back. And it's still fascinating to me.
That's a fascinating story. I mean, can you still play Metallica?
Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong tuning now, but
I was going to say, do you know Seek and Destroy still or anything like that? You know? It's okay.
Yeah, I know. I
Yes.
So those riffs are still in there in the fingers somewhere.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. Cool. All right, let's play the final tune of the get together. Okay. If we could, Rise is this tune. Can you tell me about this one?
Yeah. So this is a song I wrote. It's about almost 3.5 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. But I wrote this the weekend of the Colorado floods, September of 2013.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're about 3.5 years out right now. And it was one of those things where the floods were happening, and here, if you weren't caught in the floodwaters, you were on the outside of it, and it's not like you could get in your car and go help anybody.
Yeah.
You just had to sit and watch and wait. You know, you had the news or you had Facebook, really, like, to watch, where people who were right there, you know, like whether they were stranded or whatever, posting pictures, posting videos, and you're seeing places that you know just being destroyed. And like it was just shocking to even see, and let alone imagine. So I spent the weekend, you know, I think those floods started, I think the 13th was on a Thursday. And the floodwaters were up, you know, all weekend. And so that weekend I watched all this footage and ended up sitting down to write this song, because it was just like I felt like I needed to do something, and it's the only thing you could do.
Yeah.
Couldn't help anybody, really. So I wrote this song, and 2 days later I went into the studio up at the blasting room in Fort Collins, and I recorded it. So when it was brand new, and ended up releasing it as a single, and then from there sold the single and donated 100% of the proceeds to flood relief. And,
cool!
And raised over $6,000.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was, and we sent it all down to the Alliance Community Foundation, and like I said, in the moment there was nothing I could do, and it was nice to find a way to utilize music and to find a way to do what I could. And so this song was really kind of put together by just watching and hearing other people's stories, because I was not, you know, caught by the floodwaters, but I saw enough photos and heard enough stories and knew enough people who were, to kind of get to use my imagination of what it might have been like to be in it.
Wow, I love that. That's so cool. All right, once again, Justin Roth, Studio 94.9. This is called Rise.
All right. September 12th, 2 a.m. Rain's been coming down for days and the river's rising. sirens call, gotta get out of town. A friend and his wife, his old guitar, they grabbed what they could and threw it in the car. The road's washing out up the canyon. It's a state of mind to help those that you love. Seeing all that river ripped apart, push came to shove, time was running out. Run, he said, some of the neighbors, stubborn as a mule, gonna ride it out up on the butte, but there's no getting round. The highway is gone, like nothing they've ever seen before. Cars floating by, the river ran down Main Street. They didn't get far. It took so much not to give up anymore. So they waited for the Chinooks up on higher ground. At daybreak, airlifted over what's left of the town. So helpless on the outside looking in, like watching a surgeon recklessly cutting in to someone you love. Now the water's fanning out across the floodplain. This river's changing course through farms and open range. This land may never ever be the same. Sister and brother, we will lift up one another, whatever it takes to rise once again.
Man, the kids would say that one grabs you by the feels.
Oh, well, thank you. It was definitely something watching, to watch it. It's it can't not be moved when you see devastation like that. And so trying to bring some of that emotion into the song.
Totally. Once again, Justin Roth joining me today in Studio 94.9. Tell me what's next for you. Well, actually, let me do this first. Which studio do you do this engineering at?
So I got two locations. One is just part of my home studio.
Okay.
And then the other one we call Bridgeway Recording. It was an existing studio that's been around for about 15 years, but then I've been operating out of that space for about 9 months now.
Okay, cool.
So bridgewayrecording.com, you can find out more information. Otherwise, through my website, justinroth.com as well.
Sweet. Okay, so what's next for you as far as, that aspect of things, the music aspect, I guess the you playing music aspect? Yeah. Just what's next for Justin Roth?
Well, we got multiple studio projects, a bunch of people that I'm recording right now. But as far as performance goes, starting up next week, I guess this coming week, I should say, since this is Sunday. Starting on Thursday, April 6th, I'm going to be playing down at the Walnut Room in Denver.
Nice.
And then I'm doing a house concert, which is open to the public. If you're not familiar with house concerts, it's literally where somebody hosts it in their house. Mm-hmm. It's, to me, they're my favorite kind of performance venues because it's intimate. It's a listening room environment. Everyone pays a donation to be there. There's a potluck if you so choose to come early. Yeah. It's kind of a great. It's always like a community builder too. You get to find other music lovers that love to hear music in a setting that isn't where you don't have a drunk guy talking next to you.
Yeah.
Like, we're here to listen to music. So it's really supportive of artists and the listening environment. So I'm doing that on Saturday, the 8th, and then Sunday the 9th, another public show up at Avogadro's Number in Fort Collins. And all three of those shows I'm doing with a friend, songwriter from Nashville named Corby Lenker. And he won the songwriter competition at the Rocky Mountain Folks Festival last year. So he'll be playing the main stage this August. And so we're doing those shows together. And then coming up at the end of the month is FOCO MX. This is, I believe it's the 9th year of FOCO MX, which is amazing and awesome, and it's growing every year. And I think this is about my 5th or 6th year playing it, and I just think it's a great, great weekend, great opportunity for performers and great opportunity for music fans alike to get out and hear all sorts of local Colorado-made music. Probably a lot of people for me, I know it's always a lot of people I've heard of, but with small kids at home, I don't get to go out. I don't necessarily go out to the clubs and see my friend's band. It takes stage at 11 p.m.
Totally.
Now's my chance to get out and see a lot of those people and just be moved to be inspired by all the music that's happening around here.
Yeah, very cool.
All right.
Once again, Justin Roth, can't thank you enough, man, for coming in, hanging out, sharing your music and your stories with us.
You're very welcome. Thanks for doing what you do here and supporting local music, and it was a pleasure to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man.
All right.